Hello, people. We are back at to the podcast, episode 225, and we are back in your face for another episode of Us. It's your boy International Walt.
It's your girl Tosh, the co-hostess with the most.
And we back for another episode of Us. Us. That's what this title of this episode is going to be, a little Us.
Oh, I was about to say, I thought in my mind this episode is going to be titled Us.
It could be, or a little Us.
A lot of us. A lot of us. A little of us.
But we are back for another episode of Us. Episode 225. Y'all know the platforms. Y'all type us in. We pop up. I'm sure she's got some updating to do. So, you know.
Give me some time. Comment por favor.
Talk to her about that. But we out there. So if y'all fuck with us, we'll fuck with y'all. Let's get right to the show.
And if you don't, you should.
How are you?
That's my piece.
Missed it.
I know. I am good. Mentally, I'm a 10, y'all. Like, I really, at this moment, I feel like a 10. I feel great.
Double digit.
I feel good.
Double digit Tosh.
DD.
That could be your moniker.
DD Tosh.
Yep.
Yeah.
DDT.
Like Tosh D's. DD.
DDT. Like Jake the Snake used to do the DDT. Double digit Tosh.
Yeah, I feel great. Finance 8, thank God for all of his blessings, and Lord, he continues to bless us, and I'm so grateful. Work is a 9. It's all good. Just, had to shift and do some things, but it's all good. I had no complaints. No complaints. God showed up and showed out for me. No complaints. Physically, child. I feel good. I'm gonna say I'm like a 9. Being in that gym, my body is feeling. I kind of had to pivot. How I was working out. Got some, tips from somebody who I love, and pivoting to incorporate.
Who the fuck is that?
Shanique.
Oh.
I told you that.
No, you didn't.
I thought I did tell you that.
You know the people you love.
you know that now you know I love.
I'm just saying, you just put that out there, and I seen you glance from the side to look like, what the fuck.
I did not.
I seen you side eye me.
I wasn't side eyeing you.
Okay, I know what I saw.
So then, just trying to pivot in my format of workout, if that makes sense. Just to see, what kind of results that yield, and my body's feeling it already. Stepped up the weights. I got stepped down the cardio a little bit, but not. My body's hurting. I'm feeling it, but it's all good. I'm a 9, and I'm more motivated. Like,
that's why you was doing 15 minutes.
Yeah, but
because dude was talking.
No.
My fucking head off.
I know, and I was like, how long my baby gonna deal with that? I know.
I was thinking to myself, I should stop and get off, but he know I do longer than this. But he don't know how long I've been here.
Exactly. And the thing too, I thought to myself, you gotta close your eyes when you're on the treadmill, so that way people see like, all right, he in his moment.
That's why I rap the songs that I'm listening to, so it's like people could say, oh, he into his music.
But no, nobody.
But you know what he asked me when he walked up?
About the draft.
No, he's like, you want to talk? And I said, excuse me? He's like, you mind if we talk for a minute? And I was like, all right. And he's like, what you think about the draft? And I was so caught off guard from that. Like, what the fuck, man? That friend making shit.
I was gonna say both of y'all are awkward in the friend making space, and I think he's looking for that, and he don't know how to approach it. Yeah, it's I didn't know. I heard you say excuse me, and then I heard him talking about the draft, but I didn't know he opened up with that.
Yeah, you mind if we talk?
Yeah,
like kinda, yeah.
He may not have been successful in making friends there, but no. So I did the 15. So what I did today, I still did my 15 minutes. Then I did cardio, and then I did another 15 minutes. Like, I didn't start off, like, I started at where I stopped. So at like a 4 incline, a 3 speed, so it ended up being a half hour, but just trying
broke it up.
Yeah, so like a warm up, then go hard with the weights, and then, close out with some cardio. So, but I feel good. My body's hurting. I tweaked something in my shoulder. I felt just walking down the steps. So hopefully in the morning it feel better. How are you?
I'm good. Mentally, I feel like a 9. Finances is always going to be an 8. We know that. Stopgap for the Lord to dump his blessings in so we could dump them back out.
I like that.
We're going to go with with work. is a 9. Job is wrapping up. Got some weeks left. Not no more months. So yeah, that's a great, and it's looking good. I can't wait to take some pictures and show you.
I'm looking forward to.
I'm not taking you there, but
I know you don't take me to
you.
your work. I gotta pop up.
Wow, pop up in your ass. Don't pop up at your events. Physically, I feel like she feel. My body is aching. I did some leg presses and ain't tested that in a while because I do my cardio, so my legs are getting worked out. But when you put the muscles under strain like that, man, oh man, do they hurt the next day. I'm really thinking about getting I was looking at hyperbaric chambers on Amazon. They're like a few $100. The ones you zip up and zip down, you can fold up and put in the closet, but you zip them out and get in and they blow up on you. But yeah, you need something to
you need to talk to your doctor about that first, though.
Yeah, to get the oxygen back in your blood, so you can recover faster. So you don't feel like when you do leg day, you can't walk the next day because that shit is brutal.
Well, I'll tell you one of the things that why Shanique had suggested doing the weights and then the cardio. She was saying the cardio is going to help you lose weight, but the weights will help, and it's more so for me than you, as you're losing weight, it won't be flabby. Like it helps like build that muscle while you're losing weight. And when you lifting weights, that fat burn lasts longer even after you stop. So.
And it's cardio too when you do heavy
weights. Yeah, it's still
your heart racing like a motherfucker when you pump heavy weights. So yeah.
And I learned something from, I think it was one of your shows, Joe Rogan, where I think I heard somebody on there was saying like when you lifting heavy, like do whatever you can at least 4 times. Like you don't have to be able to pump it 20 times in a row. Now me, I don't do 4. Like I try to say, okay, if I can do this at least 10 times, and I step my sets up to doing 4 sets today. So I did 100, 100, and then stepped it down to 80. 100, 100, 100, and stepped it down to 85 for my pull downs. But I did just 10. So I kept that in my mind, like do heavy as long as you can do a minimum of 4, but I try to do 10.
That's good. Yeah. That's good. Yeah.
Wows and walls for the week?
Wow this week. Wednesday. Let me see. What's the wow for this week?
Stop dating the show.
Sorry. You can delete. I don't have no wow. Just being alive. Just being alive. The weather's trying to change. I'm liking that vibe. Thinking about things to do for the summer. Hanging out with you. Catching a break from work. That kind of vibe. So I'm just happy to be alive for another 7 days. That's it. And no woes. Nothing went wrong. Thank God at the top of the show for that. What about you?
Well, I mean, if we're looking at, since our last
life that you don't tell me about.
No, that's not true. If you be having stuff in your life, you don't tell me about. I didn't know about
the person you loved. I didn't know about our nephew.
Oh my goodness! I told you that I had got some information about Trent switching up the workout. No, remember I told you, and that's why I said doing more weights. I didn't specify who the person was, but you know that I love Shanique. That's not a new person.
Yeah, but you okay, so there's
I said I had this information and I said I love Shanique. I just didn't let you know that the person that I love is who it came from. But it's not new information.
No, it is new information.
Okay. And our nephew, we text every morning.
I'm just saying. You said it was nothing. It's just 2 things right there.
Okay. Anything you got to tell me in your life? Okay.
My life's an open book to the person that I love.
Okay.
Say the same for you. Go ahead.
So I'll say from last week's episode, I had a character building week last week, as I heard somebody describe it before. I had a character building, on a professional level. And so that was like the whoa, because it kind of made me take a step back and just kind of have to, it was a challenge for me professionally and personally. And I really had a moment where it was almost like thinking about therapy where, confrontation happens and it's fight, flight, or freeze. And for me, it was kind of like a flight only because I was considering flight in the sense of changing jobs only because it was like, this ain't gonna go good and I need to get out of this environment for myself, for my own peace of mind. And I really had, like, it was a job that I was like, I know I could do this job. I should just apply for it. I don't want to deal with this. I'm not going to deal with this. Like, this ain't going to go good. And I was really like praying and thinking, like, God, this was one of the moments where it was like, I need God to be like, the answer is no. Like, I don't want to have to try to figure it out.
You need a different career, a career path if you hear God say no.
Or like, I want to wake up in the morning and it's like something fell on the floor and it's a note and it's like, oh my God, this is my answer. But that didn't happen, but God did fix the situation in a way that was the answer to the question. And it just reminded me of a Bible scripture, Psalms 46:10, be still and know that I am God. Sometimes we have to just pray and have faith and not think about, God, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Pray, have faith, and be still and let him work it out. So that was my wow of like, just that reminder, like, I appreciate it, God. It was a reminder. You told me, sit your ass down, be still, let me do what I do, and I'm going to do it. And he did it. So that was it for me.
What if he'd have said something foul, like, sit your bitch ass down?
God don't disrespect me. That's, God don't disrespect me.
Stop always thinking about running. Like, ball your shit
It
up.
was more like self-preservation.
Bat somebody across the head.
Well, that's not
No.
self-preservation because now you're losing your job. So it's like...
But if you said, babe, I lost my job today because at the event I had to bat somebody, I would be like, damn, that's fucked up, but you bat somebody? Like, really? Like, what? Tell me what happened. Like, now I want to know details.
I'll be like
what
call
was
the
said
doctor because...
before the bat came, because I want to know what ensued the no more words, the bat. I would want to know everything. How? What would you have? Did you have this on? Like, what did you have on? What was your brain thinking that day? Would you get a coffee from Wawa before you went? How
That's
was you
really
feeling?
a professional development opportunity for me because I don't trust myself in the face of conflict. On the phone is one thing. I mean, even then, it's like you can easily hang up a call or take a moment, get your words together, but face to face, like.
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this is the
myself.
truth, and I waited to the show to tell you. But maybe you should take an anger management class. Maybe there's something in there that maybe through your company they might offer that a class or something like that, because
it probably would be worded like conflict resolution. They probably wouldn't say,
well, whatever the fuck it is. But because you've been in corporate way too long to not know what tool bag to go in to resolve conflict without bringing hood Tasha in.
But I've never had conflict to that point of being disrespected.
But I'm not talking about the disrespect. I know you have conflict before where you've been angry like that.
Maybe,
where you've been mad like that. Yeah. So I'm not talking about what happened. I'm talking about how it made you feel. So I've seen you mad on 2 occasions like that, where it's like, if somebody was here, you'd want to fight. Or back in the day, that shit would get taken out on me.
Right.
Where it would be like, you just would be walking around snappy and angry, 10 years ago. But you just been in corporate way too long to not have a tool bag to go into to be like, okay, this is how to resolve this without bringing that, hip hop Tasha and 26th Street Tasha. So
that's a great
maybe
suggestion.
look
I
into that through
appreciate
your, in your company and just take a class or something. It might be some shit online that you can take that'd be like, okay, you just talk through it or talk to the doctor. Talk to the lady. The lady might help.
That costs money.
Yeah,
I mean, but she loves us, but but that costs money.
Yeah. Well, look that way first.
Yeah. Question for you.
Shoot.
Knowing how much you love me, right?
Mm-hmm. I do love you a lot. Yeah. I do know that too.
Yeah. So I saw a movie, right? It's called Swan Song.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, if you ever look for this movie, first of all, I'll just say this is a spoiler alert because I'm going to tell you what the movie's about. If you ever look for the movie, there's so many movies with that title. I was like, oh wow, I like minimum 3, maybe 4, all completely different. Mm-hmm. So this had Mahershala Ali in it, and Initially, I was kind of skeptical because it says sci-fi in the description.
You're gonna break it down to short form though, right?
Yes,
Okay.
it's not really sci-fi if you want to watch it. It's more futuristic. So long story short, he has a family, a wife and a son. They previously had another child that they lost. It didn't get into the details of why, but you know they're grieving the loss of the son. Their relationship was really fractured, but now healing. He is sick and he is dying, but his family doesn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So an opportunity is presented to him by these people, scientists or whatever. The white lady, can't think her name. If you've seen her, you would know exactly who she is. Very famous, white, Meryl Streep, maybe, I don't know, but
Helen Mirren.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe her. Opportunity presented to him to have a clone that they would download all of his memories to this clone.
Mm-hmm.
And they went through like a test period to make sure, like he went away and his wife and son thought he was just away for work, which, you know, I guess was not abnormal. But while he was away, downloading the clone with all these memories, and that clone would step in for him to replace him with his family, to save his wife and his son the grief of losing him. Now, what happened was while he was testing this out, when he was at this, let's say, farm where this was done, it was another lady there who had already done it. She was in a position, and so they told him where her clone was and her daughter. She had a daughter that was like 8 years old. Like, you can go visit just so you can kind of observe and see like what it's like. And he realized like there was no difference. The little girl ain't had no difference. The lady like was living the life, and you know, so back at the farm it was just them two at the time. So she kind of confirmed like, yeah, this is how it worked, like it'll be all good. And I mean, so that's the premise of the movie. I won't go into detail, but that was the premise of the movie.
Okay, so what's your question?
Would you be willing to save me the grief of losing you? Would you entertain something like that? God
you broke it down like that.
Sick?
Yes, I would. Yeah, because I mean, I wreck my brain with that kind of shit now. If I can go into a rabbit hole and get very, very sad thinking about that in real time.
Please don't get sad.
No, I'm just saying in real time I have. So yeah, I would definitely entertain something like that if I knew like, hey, I'm gonna be gone and this might save her the grief. She don't know that I'm dying, and this might save her the grief of me dying, a funeral, all that shit, and her living without me. So yeah.
So the thought of, because again,
and if he's got all my memories and he's me, and I mean he ain't gonna fuck the same, but you know he's me, but he's, you know, all that is cool. Yeah, I would entertain it. Yeah, I would entertain it.
So yeah, because the question was asked, so somebody, a friend of my sister, she was the one who had like posted in her story, and I watched it, and she said it made her, she said she was happy I watched it, knowing, you know, our relationship, she values our marriage, and she wanted to know, she was like, is that something you would consider? And initially I was like, you think about the dishonesty versus the wanting to save you the grief.
Yeah, like my whole job is as being your husband is protect you from pain, from people hurting you, from pain, from as much as I can. I mean, life is life, and you probably gonna lose people that I can't stop the hurt from. So it's like, but my job is to try to step in and alter any pain that's coming your way. So yeah, I would definitely, and that's the ultimate pain. So yeah, I would definitely not want you to go through that. If there is an afterlife and you're looking down at your loved one going through what they're going through at the time that you're going, I would hate this for me to see that. So yes, I definitely would want to entertain that, because I would not want to look down and see you coming home by yourself or having those moments by yourself where you're sad and crying. So definitely, yeah.
I said this.
If I look down and I see, holy shit, I'm up here and that's Walt down there, like, all right, at least it's Walt, at least she's still happy. It ain't Mike or fucking John.
Like, I think I'm still with you.
Yeah, like, I know what's up, but she still thinks that that's Walt. So
now, and at one point initially when they kind of did they had to the trial period, he could see through the guy's eyes. He had a lens, like, so he could see he could see the interactions and stuff, and it was hard for him to adjust to. And I thought about it. The being dishonest with you was like, I don't know if I could hide that from you. Like, first of all, me just being sick and all of that, if I could hide that from you, but wanting to protect you, I think would supersede that part. Like, wanting to protect you and knowing that I could protect you in that, to that magnitude, to say, oh, I can give him a Tasha, and like he would never know that I was sick, that I wasn't here. Like, he could have somebody step in and it would be seamless. Like, I was
because one thing about bad news is two kinds of bad news: the bad news where it gets fixable, and the bad news that's not. So if it's like to tell somebody your loved one some bad news, it's like, okay, we're gonna get through this. But to tell them there's no, this is terminal or something, that's a different type of
knowing
bad news.
that she already was on the verge of healing
From the child.
Yeah.
So now I'm losing her husband. Yeah. She might have been hung up in the closet a year later or some shit. So that's, I mean, I would entertain it. Would you?
I definitely would, because the scary part, I think, first would be hiding from you that I'm sick, because like we don't hide stuff from each other, but knowing how you are when you think something, you kind of go through two phases. If I'm not well, first you're like kind of in denial, like shake that shit off, get yourself together, and then it's like, oh, like this is serious, and then you go into ultra worry mode. So knowing that and it's something like, God forbid, I don't even know, they never even said what was wrong with him, but knowing that it was like you said, this can't be fixed, I would definitely want to save you from that.
Yeah,
it was pretty.
I'm gonna watch this movie one day.
And again, the sci-fi, at first I was like, oh, I don't. But
I don't watch sci-fi shit at all.
But it was, again, I mean, except for the fact that it was a clone, but it wasn't nothing like robotic about it. But it was.
And I don't want to sound contradictory because we say that and we reviewed Sinners last week, and it's kind of in the sci-fi category.
It's sci-fi?
It is. All vampire movies are sci-fi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, I mean, this was more futuristic than I would say sci-fi, but it normally would, if you take that aspect out, just the love story behind it was, now, maybe I might be cynical about movies and stuff, because I've seen some people was like, this was the best movie ever, I watched it so many times. I don't know, I could probably watch it again, because I watched it late, I think you were asleep, with subtitles, so I probably could watch it again. It might be something that I missed, but I mean, I know
turn that shit off my TV.
The subtitles?
Yes. I don't want to watch basketball and see subtitles.
Well, when it's late sometimes.
Like, I try to cut it off the TV. It's like, it says it's off, but the damn shit don't go off.
I'll show you how to do it.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and when I be watching Handmaid's Tale, I gotta turn it on because you don't like me to watch that.
I'm gonna watch Swan Song. Y'all never seen Swan Song out there.
Mahershala Ali. When you look for it, you gotta look for the black man. Yeah. It's on Apple TV. But yeah, you gotta look for the black man, because you're gonna see like 3 or 4 different titles that say Swan Song.
Speaking about families and kids and what you would do for your family and all that good stuff, we've touched on pregnancy here just a little bit before in the past because of obvious reasons. Obviously, you are 44 years old and you never had kids. We can't have kids together, and I know we've like skimmed over that, but I had a couple questions pertaining to that, if you don't mind.
I don't mind. I might cry, but I don't mind. I'm okay with that.
So number one, that was there an age that you got to? You're 44 now, but was there an age that you got to that you thought, because this pregnancy hasn't happened yet, that it's not safe?
I guess growing up, you always were told that, like, I think the age was 35. So like, growing up, you always knew that 35 and older, and this is not to say other issues can't happen, but it was always said that there's a high prevalence of you having a child with Down syndrome. Like 35 and up was considered a geriatric pregnancy. Now, I think now, later in life, I've seen so many people have babies later. I don't know if that age range has moved up, but I think now I do feel like
So is it 44, or was there an age? Let's just say not 35. So at 35, you might have thought about it, but I know you still would have had a baby at 35. Right. But at 40, I might have questioned it. So from 40 to 44, has there been an age where you told yourself, inner self, not even expressing it to me, that this might be an unsafe thing to do?
I think I don't know if I thought that it's been unsafe. I think at this age, at 44, and it probably has something to do with my profession too, because I'm learning so much about maternal health.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been more aware, not that it could be, well, one, that pregnancy itself and childbirth is unsafe, but I think I've been more aware that the prevalence of having a child with developmental disabilities increases. It's higher risk. Like, yeah, so I don't think I've ever, again.
So you looked at it as fear-based, not necessarily safe. Like whether it be safe for the baby or safe for you, because that's how I'm thinking. It could be unsafe for you, and because we hear about that maternal health and all that in the world,
right,
and you passing away while you're trying to give birth, or having a kid that has developmental issues.
I think the childbirth issues makes me more afraid than a child with developmental issues. Cause I don't want to sound like ignorant at all, because I can imagine that that's a difficult circumstance or it can be a difficult circumstance to have a child with developmental disabilities. That doesn't necessarily scare me, but the medical stuff of something going wrong scares me. So I think, like, probably within the last
to you or the baby?
To me.
Okay.
Probably within the last year, I have been more aware of
stuff that can
things that can go wrong. Yeah, and it's one of them things I don't think a lot of people think about, especially if you or people you know have had a bunch of babies and nothing ever went wrong, because a lot of stuff can go wrong, but it happens to a little bit of people, but it still happens to too many people. So I think recently,
one is enough.
Yeah.
So
I would say
in real time.
I would say
now,
43, 44 is when I become most fearful, because also thinking like God be like surprising people.
Motherfucker pop up at 50 and 48 and shit like that
with a baby,
and it's like, what do you do?
I'm gonna be so tired. Like that's the first
nowadays, and I'm sure like at 48, we're talking 5 years later, you'll be more technology and science will be more advanced. So it's not like they can tell you now if your kid's going to be autistic or have developmental issues earlier than they could when we were growing up.
I don't think autistic, because that kind of comes with
with milestones,
right? Yeah, but so but they've always been able to tell if there's any sort of genetic disorders or
right. You're right.
Physical disabilities. Yeah.
My second question is: if we didn't have our babies in our life, would our life be enough for you?
Ooh, that's
So if there was no. And I'm speaking from like a realness standpoint, because I know all the things that we've been through, all the conversations, all the tears, all the heartache about having kids, even supporting you through your grieving. I've grieved it too, because I wanted to see you be a mom, but and I've always said to you, hey, look what God did. He put these kids in your life so that you can be the best aunt, and you have a different type of aunt relationship where you almost like aunt mom, like aunt second mom relationship. So that's different from any other aunt walking around.
Right.
Some other aunts are just aunts. Like, you're so much more than that. But if they wasn't in our life, and there was no Willaire, there was no Madison, there was no Aubrey, there was no Mackenzie, there was no Mason, would our life be enough for you?
Sometimes I feel like it's, especially now considering my baby's moved away, I don't always feel it's not even so much our life doesn't feel like it's enough for me, because when I do have those moments of feeling that void, I immediately am able to think about how grateful I am to have all of the other things, not necessarily filling that void, but being like overflowing in other areas, that it helps to minimize the grief of that void. So I feel like nothing could ever, even with our babies, they don't fill that spot, but it's like the love from them is so much, it helps that spot not to hurt, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I see y'all connect on a different level now. It's almost like when they were younger, you would just overflow them with love. But they're all at an age now where they actually can receive it and understand it.
And reciprocate
Yeah,
in their own
yeah,
way.
like so. You didn't let me land.
I'm
But
sorry.
yeah, they receive it and know like what it is and know that it's special and they treat it as such and they give it back to you when y'all have y'all little text exchange in the morning and all that stuff. Like there was a time where that you was just doing that yourself and just putting
Because
it
that
into
was
them.
too
Yeah,
young, yeah.
but now they're at an age where it's like we can give the love back to Aunt/Mommy Tasha.
It's one of them things where I feel like nothing will ever compensate for that. It hurts a little more that the first nice day of the season, I was so sad because I thought to myself like this would be the perfect day to have an ice cream date with my babies. And I remember like having a little attitude or whatever, but telling myself not to take it out on you. But just feeling like, damn, like I'm so happy for where they are. I'm so happy for the progress that my sister is making and the life that's being afforded to them. But I just wanted them to be here. But it is what it is. And I feel like nothing will ever fill that void. But what I think for me, I still always have like a little bit. It's like I have a little bit of hope that, okay, it's going to happen one day. But I'm also, before it used to be like the sadness of it possibly not happening was up here with the hope. And now it's like, okay, the hope has reduced some, but the sadness has also reduced. Before it was like the hope was reducing, but the sadness is still up here. The sadness is now, I don't want to say it, I'm more accepting of the fact. And I always remember my very first therapist has said to me, you have to be, will you be okay if it never happens? And for a long time, I never thought that I would. I didn't know how I would be, or like me not being okay. I didn't know what that meant, but I could not rationalize in my mind saying, yes, I'll be okay if it never happens. And I think I'm coming closer to that point. I've come so much further to that point, but I'm coming closer to that point with accepting that if it never happens, I'll be okay. Part of it too, like going back to your first question, is also kind of thinking about, I want to be healthy and I want to be safe and I want to have a healthy baby. So accepting the fact that, okay, if it does happen, you're increasing the chances of you potentially not being healthy and not being safe, or the baby not being healthy. But, so that's where I am. So to go back to your question, our life is enough for me with the kids. If I didn't have them, I don't know.
Never knowing, would we still be sitting here doing a pod? Just having this life that we have, which is pretty special to us, and being happy and in love? Or would it be that imbalance of hope and sadness because you never knew the thing that you have now, which is the love of 5 kids that adore the shit out you?
I think I would have had to find some place to put that love. Like, whether it's, I have the group of girls that I mentor with, but that's on a very much smaller level. But I probably would have had to find something in that capacity to put that love, because I think for me that was what I needed. Like I needed to be able to, I don't know, to do those things that I wanted to love on somebody, to help guide, to help teach. And part of it too, what I realized for so long, I wanted to prove to myself that I could be the mom that my mom was. No shade to her. I guess she was the best mom, right, that she wasn't. She was the best mom that she knew how to be, maybe. But I wanted to prove to myself that I could do a good job. And who knows, I might have been a horrible mom if I had kids and let them tell it.
I don't think so. But I get what you're saying. But, if you ask your kids, they'll have a different story than what you think.
But I think for so long, I wanted to prove that. And I had to and I'm still working on that. And I don't really have nothing to prove to nobody. I don't have nothing to prove to myself. I am who I am. I know my own heart. I know the person that I am. I know the love that I have. God knows my heart. You know my heart. You know, so the kids know my heart. But again, if they weren't there, I think I just would have had to find somewhere to put that. I don't know what that.
I already got you a couple of puppies.
Yeah,
I definitely got you a couple of puppies. Love on these little bastards.
Yeah, no kittens, but puppies.
Yeah, I already got you a couple of puppies.
But one thing too, I think that has helped with that, and like you being, not, this might sound crazy, like, you know, you already being a parent, but you not really having a yearning for a bunch of more kids. I think that gave, and God knew what he was doing in that, because again, our life could be completely different if you, that was another thing. For years I kind of felt a little bit of guilt of like me cheating you from that, but very early on you let me know, like, nah, like, I'm all right.
That's not my bag.
Yeah.
No, not at all. And don't get me wrong, I love my daughter to death, but she came very fast, like as far as me and her mom. But yeah, I that's not nothing I yearned for. What I did yearn for was, again, I was so in love with her that it was like, hey, I would love for her to be a mom. I'm sure she would be dope. I know she would, you know, she would raise my kid in a way that I would want to, and I would love to see her be a mom. So that was my, not like a give-in, but it was like, hey, I'm down with this. Like, I would do this with her. It's planned. I know she loved me. She been down with me. Even in my situation, she wanted to have kids with me. So it was like, I would do it with her. But that just wasn't my bag. And she always would say, let's have 5 kids, 7 kids. I'm like, you out of your goddamn mind if I'm coming home and only got, I'm giving you my money and you like, here go haircut. Like, get yourself looking right. But that's all you getting. Like, hell no. Hell no. But kids are great, and I'm glad that we got the five kids that we do, and I'm glad that they love you, and it has evolved into what I was kind of speaking earlier. Like, you're going to be in these kids' lives like you wouldn't believe, to the point where you're going to have decision making and say so and constitution over them. And you do, and I'm glad that has evolved into that.
Me too. It makes me feel so good to see like the people that they're growing into their own individual personalities, but having conversations with them, you know, when I text them texting me back, and they all got their own little way. My Albs text me every single morning. Kenny, I know, you know, she wake up kind of on the wrong side of bed sometimes, so she might just say, you too. And Mace, he is like the most caring 7-year-old kid in the universe. So he's like, be strong, have a wonderful day. Remember how loved you are. And it's like, yes. Today I thought about that all day. I was like, be strong. Like, does he know something that I don't know that he like is telling me to be strong about?
He said some weakness in your words in your text. He said some weakness in your words.
Like, be strong today.
Yeah, I said some weakness in your words.
Like, strong. Okay, I carried that all day today. Like, be strong.
That's crazy. And still talking about kids, do we have enough sex?
Well, after this weekend,
oh, I gotta tell you something.
Baby. No, I think we do. Our sex life ebbs and flows, but it's not due to, and I'll speak for myself, what I think. I don't think it's due to any of us, like, falling off in the sex department. Like, our lives dictate that. Some weeks we more tired than others. You know, some weeks we busier than others. And some weeks we find, you know, intimacy in other areas of our life. Sometimes just laying on your chest is enough intimacy, but you never just let that go.
3-letter word: sex, intercourse, pound town. Not intimacy.
Yes, we have enough sex.
That's what I'm talking about.
We have enough sex. It's I am satisfied. We have enough sex.
Okay. I think.
Do you think so?
Yeah. I think we have enough sex. I think you, even the 3 o'clock in the morning sex that you're totally like have. Gotta bleep, but like. Yeah, like.
But I be a participant now.
A participant now, but you used to just be like, I'm here. And be like, okay, but you would allow me to. So I appreciate that you always willing and able. So yeah, I think we have enough sex too.
And I feel like, and maybe it comes with age and just learning each other. You know, we kind of say, you know, I like when you do this. Well, I don't really like when you do. Well, I wish you do this like this. Like, we have the best sex ever at this age. I mean, and I don't know.
Because we know each other's bodies. And we know each other. It's the 86,616 times.
You been counting?
Could be.
I don't know if it's like going to continue to get better. People laugh when I say people, like my sister or like the girls at the shop, when I talk about like having sex in your 20s and then you get to your 40s, you're gonna be like, oh, like I wasted.
I was fucking.
Yeah, like I wasted those years. I mean, and it was the same
body
man.
Counts.
Well, for me, it wasn't nobody counts. It was the same man.
I'm talking to the people. I'm talking about.
Don't be putting that on my jacket.
Jesus
my
Christ.
20s, my 30s, my 40s, same man.
I just said talking to the people. I wasn't like you're my wife. I wouldn't.
I know. I'm joking
like
with you, but it's one of them things. And don't get me wrong. I think if you're in a stable relationship, or even I'll speak individually, if you are racking up bodies, hopefully you're learning something through it, learning yourself, what you do, like learning how to speak up and say, nah, I don't really like when you do that, or I like when you do this way, or, you know, that's one thing I think I won't say a lot, I think some women fall victim to is just accepting whatever and not speaking up. If you're with your partner and you really like, y'all love each other, y'all feeling each other, that is one of the most freeing things, to be able to give constructive feedback and they implement that. Mm-hmm. You would think like you want that so that they can do it better, you can do it better, and it can be better. But if they doing something and you don't like it, why would you not speak up? Mm-hmm. That is the most freeing thing. Like, I have no inhibitions in our sex life. Like, we do what we do and we enjoy it, and yeah, like, we ain't into no extreme kinky stuff, but it's us. We like what we like.
Minor kinks, but not like ball gags and, you know,
you can ball gag.
Spike heels in your chest.
No, not that.
Clamps on your nipples.
I wouldn't mind.
We've indulged in a little hot wax.
A little blindfold handcuff. You don't like a handcuff.
I don't like a handcuff.
No.
I don't know what black man does.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I don't know what black man does. I don't like a handcuff.
You don't mind a blindfold though.
Yeah, but I don't like a restraint at all.
Yeah.
And if I do give into a restraint, it's got to be in the front.
Yeah, scars. It's got to be in the front. But it got to be scars.
Oh yeah, something I can.
Yeah.
Like, if I want this shit off,
bust out of it
I'm
anyway.
Gonna bust out of it.
Yeah.
Most things I need to touch.
Yeah.
So I need to grab some stuff.
But yeah, I would say yes. Our sex life is sufficient. It is adequate. I don't have any complaints, and at this moment, I don't have any feedback. Any feedback from you?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm good. I love our sex life. I love that we have sex when we want to. Sometimes we have sex once or twice a week. Sometimes we can have sex 3-4 times in a weekend. So yeah, we have sex random, and I like that.
Yeah,
I don't
like
so much scheduled sex and all that kind of stuff. That on the spot sex, like, hey, it's 7:30, like, let's do it. Like, nah. Nobody's saying let's do it.
That's
when shit ain't working, because it's like, what the fuck are we doing right now? But the randomness of it is, it's great.
And how you doing?
What?
How you doing?
Hurt, tired.
And that's you will tell me no, but I don't. Well, you tell me no, and then you give in.
I will tell you 3 a.m. I see you when I got a little energy and my legs stop hurting and I can stand. You know, But when I tell you no or later, you take that as a challenge. Because you're always smiling when you say no. I told you that the other night. You said no, we had this, and you was like, no more until then. And I was like, okay. But then when I went to go for some, you was like, okay. You didn't say no again.
But you deliberately disobeyed
But you didn't stand on business, that's the bottom line. You don't stand on business.
But why would you even approach it if I said this?
To see if you stand on business with your body.
Oh, so you was testing me.
Yeah, you don't stand on business with your body.
But okay, when you realize I gave in, you should just be like, no, I'm joking. I ain't really want none.
No, because at that point I did.
No. Okay.
Yeah, at that point I did. Want to go 3 grams?
Oh, you ain't had no more questions? Yeah, we can go
No.
3 grams.
Going around the internet, there's 100 men versus a gorilla. There's a bunch of fucking there's a bunch of dudes out there who think they can beat a fucking gorilla. 100 men, unarmed men against a gorilla. And it's a bunch of dudes in the comments thinking they can beat a fucking gorilla. Like, I don't know what's wrong with people. People fight humans now and can't beat the humans that they fight, but let alone fight a gorilla. Like, they almost 8 feet tall, pound on their chest, all that kind of shit. Like, gorillas got the strength of 10 men.
And
So-
do they realize, like, punching a gorilla in the face ain't the same as
No,
punching
and
a
that's
human?
what I'm. And some dudes, I'm not saying like there's some dudes who can knock people out, but there's some dudes who fight the humans now who can't knock people out. So what makes you think you're gonna hurt the gorilla?
Are they
at all?
gonna jump the gorilla?
It's 100 people. I'm sure they would, but
Or
what
they-
would happen? A gorilla strong as shit. Like
But
what
why
you?
they want to mess with a gorilla? Like,
I don't know. One of them internet things, but there's no way.
you think you could beat a gorilla?
If I had 99 dudes with me, I couldn't beat a gorilla.
Okay.
I'm not on that boat. I know what wild animals do. So that's some dumb shit to me. But this has been going around since the middle of last week. Can 100 men? People have put up simulations of 100 men and one gorilla. And the gorilla beat ass every time. He put foot to ass
Belt
every
the
time.
ass.
Yeah, like they got feet like hands. Like they can be up here, over there. They
Yeah,
strong
I was
as
gonna
shit.
say when he jump up on a tree
Yeah,
and
when they
come down
stand
and
up
pound in your
huge, tall,
head.
when they do that pound, that Donkey Kong punch, like
Yeah, what you
people
gonna
are
do?
crazy.
Or when he rip your arm off your body.
Yeah, start throwing people around. When the first 30 people get slaughtered, that's going to scare the next 30 people. And so 100 men can't beat no goddamn gorilla? Like,
No.
that's crazy.
People need something to do with their time.
That's crazy. Unarmed men could beat a gorilla. Like, there's no way a full-grown gorilla, especially a silverback. They like 8 feet tall when they stand up.
Yeah. People.
I don't think y'all ever heard the sound. I watch a lot of nature shows, but the sound of a gorilla beating on his chest is just as deep as a lion roaring.
Yeah.
There's no way 100 men can beat a gorilla.
No.
Fuck.
And leave him alone. Leave him alone. Like, if y'all gonna get locked up, going in
No,
somebody
that's the
jungle
dumbest shit
finding
ever.
a gorilla.
Another big story was Shador Sanders dropping from the first round, being drafted in the 5th round, being learned, as they say. NFL learned him a little bit. A lot of shit has come out since this. Initially, while this was happening in real time, I thought that it was some collusion and he was being treated wrong. What I didn't know is, because I don't watch a lot of college football, is that he had a horrible interview with the Giants where he didn't answer questions and didn't know plays and couldn't answer the coach's questions in the interview, was acting entitled, even got angry when he was called out about it. He didn't participate in the combine where all the coaches in the NFL, all the personnel are there to see you. He skipped that. And they found a tweet, well, not a tweet, a video on Twitter of him and his dad saying, we don't need the NFL, we already rich. So it's like those kind of things to a group of billionaires, white men, comes off away. That's some shit you can't do if you try to get into the NFL. And Dion, he should know that. And also there were some people behind the scenes saying he's a lot to deal with. His father is a lot to deal with. Like him being here, just the energy, the media that's going to bring. God forbid if our coach loses a game, the fans will be like, his dad should be coaching him because that's who's been coaching him his whole life. So it just brings a different type of energy.
Kind of like the LeVar Ball.
Yeah,
type
it brings
of
a
thing.
different type of energy to the football team that you don't necessarily need. Like if the coach drops a game, you don't want the fans saying, yo, why Dion ain't in? You should fire the coach. It could be a good coach, but because he's there, that scent will be around.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I found these things out as the shit started to unfold, and he threw for like 3,400 yards in college, which is okay. A lot of people, they say you don't have a strong arm. So there's also a pool of people that say, hey, he just wasn't a first round pick. But all those things can be true at the same time.
And I don't want to digress, but while everything you're saying I hear, I don't really have any feedback because I only know what you tell me. what I think is messed up is what the son of the Atlanta Falcons defensive coordinator
Yes.
did in pranking him
Yeah.
with this phone call. And you know, this story about how he had, I guess the Falcons were considering calling him, and he had a piece of paper out on his desk with the phone number. It's like,
And
that
he
type
fucked
of
up
stuff.
his dad, because dad could lose his job for that shit, depending on how the organization takes that. You left pertinent information out for your son to see.
And your
Look
son
what
is
he did
an
with it.
adult. It's not
Yeah,
like you
and
got
look what he
kids
did
in the
with it.
house. Yeah.
And then he filmed it and put it up.
Exactly,
So
that's
your dad
the thing.
could lose his fucking.
You
He's the
think
defensive coordinator.
audacity? Y'all didn't just do it and hide. The audacity, you did it and filmed it and posted it
You
as
could have
if
did it in the room with 3 of your friends and
And
y'all laughed
nobody
about
knew.
it. Yeah, that could have been funny amongst your friends and y'all
the
could have had that
audacity
story.
of thinking that this is okay to post and play with somebody's life like this.
Your own
That
father.
right there is like, I mean, yeah, your dad, right? You have no respect for your dad's
No.
position, but to do that to Shador, it's like, come on.
Yeah, that's some
Would y'all
evil
have
shit.
done that if it was, you know, Tim Tebow years ago? Like,
That's some evil shit.
come on,
though.
it's evil, and again, it shows that entitlement of the, you know, white people just thinking like, I can do whatever I want and there's no consequences, because they probably have done so many things in life and not having to face consequences.
I think it's a shame. That's fucked up that they pranked him, because I could imagine, like, and it goes to show when you watch these videos or these little clips, when he got the prank call, you know, everybody, they honed in on the first words he said when the guy said, "I'm from the New Orleans Saints." Do you know what his response was? It's about time.
Wow.
And this was already, you done dropped it around. So that right there, that response shows a sense of entitlement. And you're being pranked and don't even know it. You think it's the real thing. And that's how you answer the team? It's about time?
Wow.
Like, that's not good, bro. That's just not good, that sense of entitlement like that. And the white kid has it for doing that prank, but Shador has a little bit of it too, because Dion is his father, and he come up in that line. Like, last year he made $7 million in college because of NIL. And the year before that, he made $5 million. So that's $12 million you already made in college. You didn't even get to the NFL yet. But you, your dad, and your brother was in that video, and your dad said, "We don't need the NFL. We already rich." That
Well,
shit
hire
is not cool.
you at Colorado as one of your coaches then.
Yeah, that's just not cool to a bunch of billionaires who got say-so in their organization. And Dion know them people will learn you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy that you got drafted, but, you know, them people will learn you.
And he can't take on that primetime persona that his dad did years ago.
No, he's not
This
nowhere
a
near as
different,
good. Yeah.
well, not even as far as talent. This is a different day and age.
It is a different day and age, but his dad was lights out talent. His dad could get away with that flashy shit. He was that good. But him, no, not so much.
Last Graham.
Shannon. This is ongoing. Shannon Sharp. More stuff has come out. Another accuser has come out saying he did something to him. So now this is 2 girls. And the first girl released, we don't kink shame. That's not what we do. Like I just said a minute ago, we got small kinks. But this kink that he got, he likes slave play.
I think I'm not surprised by like
slave play.
Oh wait. Yeah, I'm not surprised
Where
by that.
he
When
like
she
to be
kept
the, you know, yeah, like call me big black nigga and all that shit.
When
like,
she was saying put a big black baby in it,
Yeah.
I said to you that was probably going on. I'm not surprised by that at all. Like, not even a little bit. I feel like the fact that they are these young white, well, I don't know what the second girl looks like. I wouldn't be surprised if she is some young white feeble looking woman as well. So he's like this big gorilla and this small white lady.
Gorilla.
Like, just thinking about
Nice
size,
callback.
it's like being able to
that's what we call that in the business, a callback.
yeah, being able to, you know, being this authority figure, this superior figure over this white feeble woman. That
Probably
doesn't surprise
throwing him around
me,
and choking
not
him
even
and all
a
that
little
shit.
bit.
When they talked about the choking and all that, you're
Yeah.
right. Being that dominant, big, aggressive gorilla, like you say, and these little tiny fucking white girls. But just to think, that's probably why he don't want all this shit to come out, because your family and your people that you work for, your employers, gonna know you like slave play. You like being called big black nigga. Like, what the fuck, man? And again, that's just, you do what you do behind closed doors, but that's weird. I don't care. That's my opinion. I'm not judging you, but that's my opinion on that kind of kink. Slave play, that's weird.
Yeah,
do what you do, but that is weird to me.
Yeah. It's almost like just trying to think about the psychology behind it. Is it the fact that
it's that rural Georgia fucking outhouse?
Is it like you're degrading me, yet at the same time I'm manhandling you? So is it like what I'm doing to you physically is punishment for what you're saying to me? Like, I want you to keep saying it to me so I can keep punishing you?
I think he deeply sees white folks as the oppressor because of where he comes from and how he grew up. Having to go to the bathroom outside, living in a shack. That
leaves something to say, and I'm not capping for no black man that is like solely into white women. Well, I mean, he has children by black women, I think, so maybe at all times he wasn't. But it is something to say where you will allow your sexual attraction to be a form of punishment. You need to talk to the lady.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to talk to the lady.
It's weird to me because, again, you can have any type of kink you want behind closed doors. Do it. Put a ball gag in. Put stuff in you. Whatever you want to do. But that's just weird because of our history, where we come from, where we don't know we come from, and you want some white woman to call you big black nigga in a room behind closed doors. Like, that shit get you off? Nah. Or the throwing them around get you off? Nah. That just don't do it for me. I would want to stay far away from that kind of shit. It's a wrap. Back to the podcast, episode 225, coming to a close. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Podcast Index, Podchaser, Google Podcasts, wherever. It sounds like, when they speed up at the end of the credits. Check us out next week for episode 226. We was happy to bring this episode to y'all. We hope y'all enjoy it. Did you?
I did.
You got anything?
Lead with love.
That was last week.
I know. You be catching me off guard. I'm prepared.
If you fuck with us, we fuck with y'all.
And if you don't, you should.
Peace.
I was on it that time.